And so what it would do is it would basically shift the expense onto the parents, where the parents could then drop their student off in the early morning, depending on when the service is provided. But we have yet to send out that survey. We're waiting to decide whether or not we go in that direction. And we haven't talked to the park district yet to see if they'd be willing to provide that service.
Okay, and what about the gates being open like 10 minutes earlier, so at least the middle school kids could get in, and then the parents may have that extra couple of minutes that they need to get the elementary schools kids over to the other school?
I think this was brought up at the last meeting, and I was not aware that kids are not, from my understanding, we're not.
There's been certain times where the gates aren't open, and
I think that's something I have to look at, Chris. No. That's something I just need to get more information on, and we're not going to have a kid on our property unsupervised, because that could be problematic. But that doesn't mean for now we can look at ways that we can adjust to provide the service. But it will be a cost increase if I have to extend the hours of our current employees, and that's where we're being really cautious, not to increase the cost.
No, I understand that.
It's a balance between the two.
I'm good for now. I'll wait till later. Thank you.
Francine?
Yep. Hi, I'm Francine. So tomorrow is kindergarten registration, right?
It's a fall today. It was
today?
today.
Okay. So, but it's starting, right?
No, they told me it's on hold. I called today because my daughter gonna go to Nick coming here, and they told me it's on hold. We cannot. I called today to prepare myself to register her tomorrow, but they told me it's on hold.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on hold. We'll make a decision after this evening. We'll make a decision. We're going to put on a new schedule for people to sign up.
Okay. My idea was I was going to offer, I'll be more than happy to make up a flyer that if it helps to be included in the packets that new parents are getting, I can come up with that tonight and work with the two principals and have that ready for tomorrow.
And any donations?
Of course, I'll go to Kinko's if necessary and get copies.
If you work with the principals, I'm sure we'd be more than happy to accommodate.
I'd
And
be
you
happy.
know who they are in the back of the room.
Yep.
Anyone else on the yellow list?
Nope.
Thank you. Discussion. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Discussion. Need a roll call,
I
please.
think, wait, time out. Column A, J, motion to approve the contract with SDR Partners. Maybe we should table that until we make a decision, see if we need to approve the contract or not.
Robert rule says that you could take it, you could ask for it to be moved as a separate action item.
Okay,
You could do that.
okay.
We'll move it as a
Can we
separate
do
action
that?
item.
Thank you for accommodating that.
Any other discussion? Can we get a roll call, please?
Mr. Bellatore?
Yes.
Mr. Biondo?
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti?
Yes.
Mr. Adesivich?
Yes.
Mrs. Steck?
Yes.
Mr. DeGiulio?
Yes.
Mr. Giacolone?
Yes.
The consent agenda has been approved. We'll move to action items. We'll go right to the discussion. I need a motion to approve the contract with STR Partners.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
Could you explain that a little, please, so that we're
On the same page.
all on the same page for that? A little more.
You want to do Village Ground Committee? Want to do it?
Well, basically, the original contract was written for the last referendum, and it was specific to the referendum. So it needed to be tweaked and just opened up in general for just general repairs and life safety work, things that we would have to do in the future, and any other projects that come up that needed to be taken care of. Correct?
Is there an amount to it?
No.
The amount is the same. It was just a different wording in the contract that needed to be
Just
tweaked, because the lawyers say you need to just have this so it ranges a broader spectrum.
And this isn't the 7,800 for the feasibility study, so
No.
this is part of like the 60,000 that went,
This-
not even the 60,000, so how are they getting paid?
By law, you're required to have an architect of record. Our current contract does not reflect our current circumstances. This contract reflects our current circumstances. You are not paying any fees at this point in time. The feasibility study was a separate action item. They required a separate vote. This was brought at a different time so that there would not be that confusion, hopefully. So what you're voting on here is to make sure that the contract reflects our circumstances.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Biondo?
Yes.
Mr. Bellafiore?
Yes.
Mr. DeGiulio?
Yes.
Mr. Jacqueline?
Yes.
Mr. Adisivich?
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti?
Yes.
Mrs. Steck?
Yes.
Motion approved the contract with STR Partners. All right, so we're gonna start off with discussion. So the next action item talks about looking at the possible action establishing one school as a grades K to 4 building and the other as a grade 5 to 8 building for the 2017-18 school year. So the attorney has sent me language how to do the motion out there. There's going to be 2 questions. We're going to vote at one at a time. The first one will be if the event that the referendum does not pass. So we're going to go over that one. And then the following question will be if the referendum does pass. So this way it's clear to the public of what the 2 steps are going to be. If the motions do not pass, it reverts back to our current scenario number 4, is what our attorney is telling us. So, so there's going to be, we're going to ask the question 2 ways, or there's going to be 2 different questions. One question will be if the referendum does not get approved, and then the second question will be if the referendum does get approved. So we'll do one question at a time, and this way it will be clear, at least to the public, what will happen if the referendum is successful and what happens if it fails. This way we will all have a very clear direction of where to go on that.
Are you asking question A?
No, I'm going
For both
to
of them?
I'm going to ask the first question is going to be that it does not get approval is the first question. So I will read off the question and I'll ask for a motion, and then we can have a discussion after that, and I can repeat the question if we need to.
Can I get a copy of that so I can read the questions?
Why don't you read them off anyway, just before you read them off for the motion?
I'd like to have a copy in front of me.
I don't have a copy to hand out to you, Kirsten.
Well, I'd like that one.
So discussion. I move that the event of the voters do not approve the referendum on the April 4th, 2017 ballot to increase the tax rate. Beginning in the 2017-2018 school year, the board will discontinue the operation of Giles School and Lee School as K through 8 schools and establish one school as grade K to 4 building and the other school as a grade 5 to 8 building. May I get a motion?
Can you repeat the question, please?
I'll make the motion.
I will second it. I will repeat the question.
Thank you.
I move that the event that the voters do not approve the referendum on April 4th, 2017 ballot to increase the tax rate. Beginning in the 2017-2018 school year, the board discontinues the operation of Giles School and Lee School as K through 8 schools and establishes one school as grades K through 4 building and the other school as a grade 5 through 8 building.
So it's saying that if referendum does not pass, to go to grade 7.
That is correct. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. DeGiulio?
Yes.
Mr. Adisivich?
Yes.
Mr. Bellafiore?
Yes.
Mr. Biondo?
Yes.
Mr. Jacqueline?
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti?
No.
Mrs. Steck?
No.
Motion approved that the event that the voters do not approve the referendum on April 4th, 2017 ballot to increase the tax rate beginning in 2017-2018 school year, the board will discontinue the operation of Giles School and Lee School as a K-8 school and establish one school as a grade K through 4 building and the other as a grade 5 through 8 building. Second question. Discussion. I need a motion to approve. I move that in the event that the voters do approve the referendum on the April 4, 2017 ballot to increase the tax rates, beginning in 2017 and 18 school year, the board would discontinue the operation of Giles School and Lee School as a K-8 school and establish one school as a grade 4 through K through 4 building and the other school as a grade 5 through 8 building. May I get a motion? I will motion.
I'll second the motion.
Discussion. Would you like me to read the question again?
Please.
I move that the event that the voters do approve the referendum on April 4th, 2017 ballot to increase the tax rates, beginning in the 2017 and 2018 school year, the board discontinues the operation of Giles School and Lee School as K through 8 schools and establishes one school as a grade K through 4 building and the other school as a grade 5 through 8 building. In just the same,
Meaning that if the referendum passes, you're still going to go to grade centers.
Any other questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. DeJulio?
It's a very powerful thing to have a consolidation, so yes.
Mr. Anasagis?
Yes.
Mr. Bellafiore?
Yes.
Mr. Biondo?
Yes.
Mrs. Paletti?
No.
Mrs. Steck?
No.
Mr. Giacalone?
No.
Motion approved in the event that the voters do approve the referendum on April 4, 2017 ballot to increase the tax rate beginning in the 2017-2018 school year. The board will discontinue the operation of Giles School and Lee School as a K through 8 school and establish one school as a grades K through 4 building and the other school as a grade 5 through 8 building. Discussion. The approval of the resolution of a non-renewal and dismissal of the 1st through 3rd year probationary teachers. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Can we have you please read the resolution?
Resolution for non-renewal and dismissal of 1st through 3rd year probationary teachers from Norwich School District Number 80. Whereas the Board of Education of Norwich School District 80 has heard the report of the Superintendent of Schools concerning probationary teachers, and whereas certain teachers are employed by the Board of Education as 1st through 3rd year probationary teachers, and whereas the Board of Education has determined it necessary to non-renew the employment of certain 1st through 3rd year probationary teachers, and whereas pursuant to Section 5/24-11 of the Illinois School Code, it is necessary to give a 1st through 3rd year probationary teacher a written notice of non-renewal and dismissal from employment at least 45 days prior to the end of the 2016-17 school term, that such teacher will not be reemployed for the 2017-2018 school term and will be dismissed at the end of the 2016-2017 school term. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Education of Norwich School District 80 as follows. Section 1. The employment of the following 1st through 3rd year probationary teachers shall not be renewed for the 2017-2018 school term. Such teacher shall be dismissed at the end of the 2016-2017 school term and shall receive a written notice of dismissal and non-renewal of employment in a form substantially similar to Exhibit A attached hereto. Brian Arns, Tom Cheatham, Michelle Sipanides, Eileen Degnan, Dawn Andrzejewski, Ashley Bleck, Ashley Dolce, Becky Chizzolo, Salvatore Ingrata, Christopher Scarpula, Todd Browder, Marissa Eisen, Ruth Orme Johnson, Patrick Zuriak, Lindsay Little, Adrian Reba, and Christopher Fisher. Section 2. The aforementioned teachers shall be given their respective written notices of non-renewal of employment and dismissal by regular mail, certified mail, return receipt requested, and by personal delivery with receipt at least 45 days before the end of the school term